All right, good morning and welcome to Iyun Benzion, Yevamos David. Today we have an extremely important matter to talk about, not just with Iyun. Iyun ultimately should lead to halacha. Uh, there's really a disconnect between Iyun. I mean, it's very unusual that Iyun produces, the Iyun and Yeshivas produce actually halachic ramifications. We always say something, Torah suffix, we're not sure. You could say it like this, could say it like this. But I really feel strongly that from this Gemara, it's clear that there's halachic and hashkafic, more political, halachic, political ramifications over here. Let's dive straight into it. The Gemara says on Daf Yegimel Beis, the Gemara says that Israel is go to do. You can't make agudas. You can't make factions in Klal Yisrael. The Gemara in Yudal and Ma'ala discusses the exact parameters of this halacha. It's two opinions, Abaye and Beisha and Rav. Abaye says, Kamriel is go to in the middle of Yudal and Ma'ala, going Shtei Bati Dinim Yerachas, Halal Amon K'dir Beisha, Halal Amon K'dir Beisilo. Shtei Bati Dinim B'Shtei Ayaros Leisama. It's talking about one city. If you have one city, two Bati Dinim, you have, let's say, the Eidos Charedis, and you have the Rabbanut Yerushalayim, Mahajin Yerushalayim. Two Bati Dinim. One Paskins is kosher, one Paskins it's treif. That's a problem according to Abaye. That's a problem. The Gemara then brings in Rav. But if you have two different cities, let's say you have land down from Bnei Brak and you have Eida Chareis from Yerushalayim, that wouldn't be a problem. It's two different cities. Rav says, let's go to kind of go and base it. Palag Moran K'dir B'Sham, Palag Moran K'dir B'Hillel. It's talking about one based in, let's say the Eida Chareis in Yerushalayim. Half of the people, the Rabbanim, are Machmir, half of the Rabbanim are Mekel. Now, they ask me the question according to Rava. The Eida Chareis writes a symbol on packages of food. They tell you if it's kosher or not. So obviously there's no, right? Whoever disagreed eventually gave in. The answer is that Rava means to say is that a lot of Rabbanim will, in public, the public atmosphere, they'll give a psak halacha, they'll give credence to the Eida Chareis. That's the psak, the halacha, it's mutter, it's aser. But when it comes to a private psak halacha, someone comes to the Rav and he says, what are you paskin about this? He'll either more machmir or more megal. And that is what Rav is talking about over here. Rav is talking about in secret. Now, I want to suggest, there's a lot of questions. The Gemara, first of all, the Rambam paskins like Abaye. Normally Abaye and Rava, the paskin and halacha is like Rava. The Rambam paskins like Abaye. Now, the Mefarshim and the Rambam, this is in Hilchas Avodah Zarah, Perek Yud Beis Halacha Yud Dalet. The Rambam, let's read the Rambam. I actually read a Rambam. See, it's actual Rambam. I have a Frankel Rambam. Yud Dalet. Here, I'll read it. He says it caused machlokes gedolah, that causes big machlokes. Paskin, exactly like Abaye. That's one question. Has around Paskin Abaye. Second question over here is Tosos. Tosos asked, according to Abaye, you have a problem. Abaye has a problem. We're trying to answer the original questions from Sechus Megillah, that they read Megillah on 5 different days, right? It could happen that the Kfarim, the villagers, can go in and read the Megillah. We just had it. They're reading the Megillah on Yud Aleph, and that same year Gedolah is going to read on Yud Dalet, so it's going to be read on Yud Aleph and Yud Dalet, so that's Yud Achas, Shtei Bati Dinim Yud Achas. It should be a problem. This is good. How we answer according to Rava, you answer. According to Abaye, it's not answered. Tozos comes there and answers that we're talking about the Kfarim actually don't read in the Iyur Gedolah, they read in their Kfarim themselves. The village is not mashma like that because it's mashma in the Gemara and Megillah that they don't know how to read. They have to come to the Iyur Gedolah to learn to have people to read for them. So those is a problem, that's a problem. And just to add on, there's 2 different explanations. Also good, seemingly. This is raid. I'm getting into raid over here. The Rambam I just read to you says machlokes gedolah. The reason behind Lasa Guda is you make machlokes gedolah. Rashi says on Daf Yigimel Beis Lasa Guda the Nira Kanogin Shtei Toros. It looks like they're following 2 Toros. He doesn't say exactly it's machlokes. It sounds like something different. It looks to outsiders that people are following 2 Torahs, and it's the zilzal, I would say, the zilzal to the Torah, the covenant Torah, that it looks like there's not Torah Achas. So everyone knows, the Torah was given from Hashem to Moshe Rabbeinu. No, there's 2 Torahs. 2 Torahs. How could it be 2 Torahs? It looks bad on the Torah and on Hashem. I want to suggest that Rambam and Abaye and Rashi are explaining Rava and Abaye. They're explaining Rava and Abaye that Abaye is going like the Rambam, right? The Rambam passes like Abaye, right? It's talking about, he says the Isser is when you have two Batei Dinim in one year. You have Abanut, Mahaj, and Yushalayim, and you have Eida Charedis. So they're passing differently, public Piskei Halacha in the same city. That is going to cause machlokas. Anyone knows that when people start, when institutions or Batei Dinim start proclaiming a Psak Halacha, they write on those big pashkaviels in Yerushalayim, their Psak Halacha. It's going to cause big fighting, not just among the Batei Dinim, among their followers also. It's public knowledge. When a Beis Din is a public unit, it's going to proclaim their Psak Halacha. That's going to cause big machlokas, big fighting. And that's the Rambam Paskins, like Abaye. But I don't think the Rambam is not passing like Rava. He is giving an explanation of Abaye. Rava would also apply, even the Gemara says Rava doesn't agree with Abaye, but we would agree with a Rava also. We could pass like Rava also, and I think the Rambam was moda that we could pass like Rava also. And Rava's reasoning would be like Rashi's explanation. Like I explained, Rava has to be talking about where the Eida Charedis gave one psak for their Beis Din, but there's a Rav on the Eida Charedis that's a brisker, and he has his own pshat. He's briskers were part of the Eida Charedis, so he gives his own pshat, his own chumrah in Natilas Lulav, whatever Achilas Matzah. And he gives for his own Talmidim, he gives his own Psak Halacha in private. Now that's not going to call machlokas because it's not a public matter. It's not going to call machlokas, but it's near Gishtei Toros because at the end of the day, you have briskers and you have Eitznikim, or you have briskers and you have Degel Torah. You have Degel Torah and you have Degel Torah shots are public things, but you can have two people following different halachas, and that's like Rashi says, and that the Rambam could agree to. In which case, I would say like this, is that there's two Isurim in Losas Godu, and it really is borne out from the fact the Gemara is clear. The Gemara says, on Yegilon Beis, the Gemara says, but Losas Godu you need for something else. You don't make a Chabura Amaze, you don't make a wound on yourself in the mourning of a dead person. The Gemara says, if it was just for that, it would say Losas Godu. I could have just said lo segodadu. My losses go $2. My losses go with an extra tough. Shema minal hachidas. I think Gemara said emakuli lahachidas. Maybe the whole puzzle is talking about agudos. Imkeli makra lo sagodu. My losses go. So it comes out from the Gemara that there's, if it would just said tagodu, that we would learn aguda achad. Sagodu is a lashon of aguda, of a group. Agudas Yisrael is a type of group, political group. It's not just Hechsherim, there's political groups also. Agudas Yisrael separated itself from Mizrahi, separated itself from modern Orthodox, and it's a faction, it's part of Haredi culture, and not all Haredim agree with Aguda. Aguda is really an American thing. And there's Aguda of Hasidim also. I mean, a political party in here in Israel, Aguda Hasidim, that's Lo Sagodu. That is part of Sagodu. But to go to do, the extra dalit is Agudas Agudos. So Agudas is what Rashi is saying, because you're going to have factions in Klal Yisrael following different halachas, near Kishtei Toros. Agudas, you shouldn't make a political party, you shouldn't make a public party like Aguda, public proclamation, to challenge another political party, Degel Torah and Shas. These are political things, but it also tell other people, they have different Piskei Halach and different Minhagim, Shas and Degel Torah, or Shas and Gimel, here in Israel, telling people how to follow halacha differently, how to act differently, how to vote differently. That's for sure Gorei Machlokas. We know how much is Gorei Machlokas in Klal Yisrael, how much Machlokas there is between political parties here in Israel. And that's for sure, that's according to Abaye. And according to Rava, there's another pshat that it looks like Shtei Toros, that even if it's publicly not known, but everyone has their own halacha, and Rabbanim are giving different halacha. It's a problem when Rabbanim give their own chumras, their own halachas. There should not be Rabbanim giving different halachas to everybody. We should have one halacha for all of Klal Yisrael, and that's the way it should be. One political party, one halachic decisor for all of Klal Yisrael, and that's the way it has to be. I believe all Jews should be Ashkenazi Jews. That's the rov in Klal Yisrael, and you go by the bust of the rov, Holcher Achar, a rov. We should all be one faction politically, halachically, and we have to unify. What? No, we're going to be one. We're going to choose one way. We have to choose one way. I'll choose for them. Ashkenazi. All right. This is the New World Order. As from David calls Mashiach. We'll see if it's true. Bye.